Thank you very much, April. We're at 7:32 right now. Another new interim director will be taking over the Sewage and Water Board today, but first the board has to call an emergency meeting.
Yeah, that meeting is to officially oust the interim director, Jade Brown-Russell. 3 other department heads submitted their resignations yesterday. Paul Dudley is following the story for us this morning, and he joins us live now with more. Paul, a lot going on here.
A lot going on, Sheba, and this really all started yesterday when city council members and residents were prepared to ask questions to the Sewage and Water Board officials as well as to the administration of Mayor LaToya Cantrell. However, they never got a chance to get those questions answered. Instead, Mayor LaToya Cantrell held a private press conference to announce that the current interim director, Jade Brown-Russell, is out, and that interim director, a new one, is coming in, Coast Guard Admiral David Callahan. The move won't be official until approval comes from the board, so an emergency meeting has been scheduled for this afternoon to finalize the change. Mayor Cantrell has also asked for the resignations of 3 deputy directors. Sharon Judkins, Ronald Doucette, and Valerie Rivers all face criticism in recent days for accepting large pay raises, especially after the board said that they would be shutting off water to delinquent accounts in an attempt to save money. According to our partners at The Advocate, Judkins received a $45,000 increase. Doucette and Rivers each received a boost of $20,000. Now, Brown-Russell defended these raises, saying that they only came after a compensation study completed last year. Council members, however, were frustrated, saying that they felt out of the loop on what was happening, but they are vowing to push the agency to keep fixing their issues. Here's Councilman Joe Giarrusso speaking with our Eric Paulson.
The shutoffs are number one. How are those going? Why are these people being picked? Are they really the right people? Number 2, what are we really doing to make sure our bills are worked out? There's so many kinks in the billing system right now that haven't been ironed out. It's disturbing. Why aren't we pursuing the 9,000 people who have transfer accounts that haven't received a bill in months? What are we doing to raise revenue that really makes sense for people as much as humanly possible? How are these pay raises approved in the face of a huge looming financial crisis, and all of a sudden these people are gone just a day or 2 later?
Many good questions there, and Giarrusso also said that council might have to push to use their subpoena power to subpoena officials from the Sewage and Water Board. He also said, according to our partners at The Advocate, that they could also be potentially bringing in court reporters to document the meetings. It's the very latest. Reporting live, Paul Dudley, Eyewitness News.
All right, Paul, thank you very much.